Hello. Thank you to the Lake Minnetonka Communications Commission for the chance to talk to you today. My name is Chrystal O'Hanlon and I'm running for Excelsior City Council. I come from a strong background in community service. I have worked in after-school programs for low-income kids, refugee resettlement for the Salvation Army, and I've logged thousands of hours at our local food shelf. So when I moved to Excelsior in 2018, I immediately looked for ways to get involved. My interest in our town led me to an appointment on the Heritage Preservation Commission, where I currently serve as chair. As chair of the HPC, I have been called fair and independent-minded. Like City Council, working on the HPC requires unbiased and careful judgment and an understanding of our city's ordinances, guidelines, and procedures. For you, the residents of Excelsior, that means you can expect me to be educated on every issue that comes before me, and you can expect me to listen to all sides without bias before making judgments. I am not afraid to ask questions or have robust discussions, as I believe this leads to sound and long-lasting solutions. And I am not afraid to take a stand, even if I'm standing on my own. Recently, I've had the pleasure of talking with many Excelsior residents. Development and parking are the two most common concerns that they have. As a resident of Center Street with 1 West Drive literally in my backyard, I have direct and daily experience with both of these issues. My view regarding development can be summed up in 3 words: progress with preservation. From my time on HPC, I have developed real concerns about some of our historic housing stock in Excelsior. I would advocate for remodeling over demolition for many valuable properties. Many examples of Excelsior's heritage are unprotected and at risk, and we need to educate our entire community on how valuable they are. For commercial and institutional development, I look to successful past projects like the library and Kowalski's, 2 great examples of appropriate newer buildings that are positive additions to our great town. Excelsior's city government has time-tested standards for heritage preservation and hard-won guidelines for planning new development. We need to rely on these standards, even when it's hard. There are several places on Water Street and Excelsior Boulevard that could be redeveloped in the near future, and I know that if we can engage with an eye toward progress with preservation, we can attract projects and designs that are good for Excelsior. Parking has been a genuine challenge in recent times, with new paid areas and the west lot out of commission. We are all feeling the fatigue of this long process and looking forward to it being done. The current council has engaged a parking consultant to help us manage parking going forward, and I think it's great to have expert advice. I am concerned about some of their recommendations, however. I am very opposed to any paid parking on Water Street, especially between Georgia and Lake Streets. This is the main avenue of our historic districts, and it is essential to the character of our town. It should retain the visual character and traditional pedestrian and car use of the time period it represents. It should remain clear of parking signage and equipment. I also believe that the resident permits should continue to offer unlimited free parking for residents, and we should increase our parking enforcement to be sure we're maximizing the revenue from existing paid areas. And now I want to look at the next 4 years, during which we will likely choose a permanent home for City Hall and continue to update the commons and see the Mill Street Pathway project begin. Inevitably, we will see opportunities and challenges that we can't predict today. In 2028, the city will update its mandatory 10-year comprehensive plan, and the council members elected today will do that work. They will look back at what positive changes came from the 2018 plan and what didn't work. They will also look to the future and ask, what does Excelsior need in the next decade? It will be complicated and sometimes messy, but if we have fair, diligent, informed council members, we can trust the process. If I am fortunate enough to be elected to this seat, I will endeavor to be that kind of council member for you, working hard for you today and for the future. Just like when I first moved to Excelsior, I can't wait to jump in and get right to work. I would be greatly honored to have your vote on November 5th. Thank you.